Pumpkin girl, pumpkin girl, pumpkin girl. Say it 3 times fast on a gloomy autumn night with some fresh pencil crayons at hand, and the result, so cute. Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and today we're going to work on this sweet autumn illustration together. I've been doing a whole bunch of these pumpkin kiddos. I showed them on social media, on Instagram and TikTok, and you guys really wanted a tutorial, and I am so happy to put this together because this is probably my favorite autumn illustration that I've done in a minute. To begin, you'll need mixed media or watercolor paper, a number 8 round brush, and I've mixed up a really nice light orange, so Naples yellow with a bit of light red, maybe a touch of white. And then you can see I'm just working out this shallow oval shape with a bit of an indent at the top. Very perfectly imperfect sort of shape. Next, we're going to come in with another color. It could be any color, but I've chosen a light watery blue. And I'm working out kind of a rounded square. And then on both sides of that rounded square, I put 2 long ovals. And those will be the arms. That'll be the upper body and the arms. We're almost done the painting portion. We just need to add some legs. Again, it can be any color, and you're just going to make a simple V shape. I've done a kind of dusty rose, so magenta, white, lots of white, and a hint of brown. And then, yeah, mine bled into the shirt a bit. It's fine. We'll lift up a bit of that, and we'll add some little messy shapes with green, and those will be leaves. Now let that dry. We're going to let that dry completely, and then watch the magic happen with colored pencil. First step, I'm taking a brown and just drawing in the stem. All of a sudden, you can see the pumpkin really coming together, and then we'll use a dark green to add stems and veining lines on those leaves. I just love this step because in the blink of an eye, you've gone from messy green brush marks to perfect little pumpkin leaves. Now let's give this pumpkin a face. So it's not a bad idea to do a guideline where you want that face to sit, and then you're going to do 2 little dots on either side of it, and the mouth is just a curving line that'll go right through the center. And then I like to also add a few little eyelashes to Pumpkin Girl. She looks so cute. From there, we'll take a sort of a medium dark orange, and we're just going to outline our pumpkin, a very perfectly imperfect outline, and we'll add some wonky curved lines throughout as well. Next, add some pink circles to her cheeks, give her a little blush, and then we can use that same orange or potentially an even lighter orange, and we're just going to start adding a little bit of like scribbly shading, just messy shading lines around the edges and the top and the bottom. So it just helps give the pumpkin a little bit more depth. Okay, we've added all this lovely detail to her face. I mean, we started with an orange circle and now we've got a pumpkin head. We need to do the same thing on the clothing. So what I'm doing is making her pants plaid. And to do that, just make sure that the horizontal lines in the plaid pattern have a bit of a curve to them so that they look like curved legs. And she needs some shoes, her feet, actually, feet. So I used a light brown to do an oval and a circle. The oval looks like a foot on an angle, and the circle is the foot coming right towards you. And then I used a dark brown, or you could use black, to put a sole and laces on those shoes. And then same thing for the sweater. We just want to add some texture and detail. So I ended up doing some little lines to indicate like the cuffs, and I did a bunch of scribbly lines because I already had a weird bloom of watercolor paint. So I just kind of wanted to go with that and make the sweater look as though it were really poofy and woolly and textured. I also added a little bit of shading under her arms at the edge of each arm. And then I came in with a slightly darker blue and went over some of those cuff details again and gave her more like a Fair Isle design on the top around the collar. And then the only thing left to do is give her some little hands. So you can see what I do here is I just draw the hands in. That one was kind of small. So the hands are just mitt shapes. Let's be real, they're very simple. The thumb goes on the outer edge. And the nice thing is you can just shade around them to make sure that they stand out well. You can color them in pink or orange or peach if you like. Totally doesn't matter. I actually thought they looked better a lighter color, but couldn't go back. And then just use a red or dark orange to shade around them, and that will really help the hands to stand out so that you can see, what is hand and what is face. You can continue shading the pumpkin until you like the look of it. And then the final step is, if you like, you can give her a little shadow, and I just draw some lines going straight out on an angle and then kind of a cloud scribble, and that is the shadow of her body and head, of course. We'll sign it, we'll add a little more shading because I never know when I'm done, and there she is, so sweet. I drew so many of these and I had a lot of fun, and I think some of them turned out better than others, but the important part to note is that they start off looking very basic and they come together with that colored pencil. That's a formula I've been really leaning into lately. I just love it for you and me because you can be totally unhappy with the painting and then bring it together with that colored pencil. Add the detail with the medium you're comfortable with. Thanks for watching. Head over to Patreon to get coloring pages for these little cuties, and I will see you next week with a brand new tutorial.